Good morning, guys. Good morning. So, what a day we had yesterday. Very patient, but we still nailed some trades to start the Monday. It was a slow day, but we nailed it, right? We called Microsoft, which was a great move, and we'll go over Microsoft first. Before I go over everything, let's just go over Microsoft quickly. How we caught that trade on voice chat. I wasn't the only one paying attention to this. I had Turkey, Tonka, Bucky with me, right? And also LB's sentiment for the little, to downside, and the entire room was pretty much in this, right? So the credit goes to everyone, not just me. But let's go over the 5-minute chart where we caught this when we were talking live on voice chat. Now, if you're a trial member and you saw yesterday we caught this play. When this play was happening on the bear flag, I was looking at SPX at the same time. I was looking at the weakness from the indices to give me a confirmation on my bear flag. Sometimes patterns form, but it is not always confirmed. Microsoft right here was the only one that was actually holding up while Apple was getting crushed, right? When the king is getting crushed, right, what does the manager have to do there? Like it needs to go along with it, something like that. But Microsoft, a nice little bear flag here. It kept holding, and right here we took our short, right? We took, all three of us, I think, jumped in our puts, and I was short equity. And then as soon as the indices had the weakness, as soon as Microsoft broke this right here, very typical pattern, that was a confirmation. Okay, now the weakness has come in, right? Here I started to, I took my profits right here, right? I did, 278. I was expecting even 276, but in this market, I want to take my profits and sit on the sidelines. Right, so I took my profits here within 15 minutes. I started scaling out slowly. Then I took some profits here, and whatever happened after it happened, yes, I could have got a lot more. But personally, I just decided to take my profits and sit back and start the week green, right? But Mike, so that's how we caught this play. And quickly, let's just go back to SPX now. We'll go over some levels. SPX 4200. Right, so if I go on the daily level here, one thing that I want to show you guys here, I'm gonna death cross is happening. Microsoft has a death cross coming, right? A lot of names, big tech has they have their death crosses coming. Are they always true? Not necessarily, but given the market sentiment now with what's going on in the world, with the oil prices, with Russia, Ukraine, right, with the Chinese, just a bloody market out there, these will take into effect. Right, and just go in historical stats and see what happens after these once they cross. SPX has just crossed SPY. Microsoft, we just saw that it's coming. Right, this green line is my 50 and this is my 200 is coming. Apple, I think maybe a bit further. Yeah, so way far. It's going to happen later on in the year. Google already happened. Amazon happened a long time ago. Right, Q's also happened just recently, and Q's it just looks like this market wants to trip. All right, but who knows what's going to happen? So we'll watch this later. IWM has happened, but back to SPX. The levels that I have for you guys today here that you guys need to pay attention to. Just a whole number, 4,200 is the most important for me. All right, we hold above 4,200. The case builds towards 4,250 and 4,300. I'm going up by 50 increments. The reason I'm using these whole numbers and going up by 50 increments, right now these levels might be off by 2-3 points. Yesterday we were going to catch the SPX at 4250, but it reached 4247. So these increments you can have 10 plus minus, like 4190. I will treat it as 4200, and so will I treat the 4210. Right, for those trades you'll have to hold. So these are my resistance points, right? 4250, 4300, including 4200, which will be support and resistance, I believe, at the open with this little gap up. And then underneath we have 4150 and then 4129-ish, which happens to an ES level, but they'll be about the same, right? 4129, and then obviously your 4100. All right, but 4200 for me today will be the most important. The PPI numbers came out, which I don't even look at no more, right? They're useless because they're going to be in line. They're going to give those numbers, but the market maker of the world, they knows already what's happening with inflation and stuff. One thing that I do want to point out here is let's compare this chart to oil now. SPX and oil. All right. Just quickly want to point out something. I don't know how many of you guys realize this. Oil has been coming down for the last 4 or 5 days, but the market has not been going up. Before, the correlation was that the oil is going up, market is dipping, which was fine, it's right. But now that oil has come down the last 4 or 5 days, why hasn't the market gone up? Right? I hope you guys are able to notice these things, that the oil has come down, market has not been able to go down, up. There's weakness. But if oil spikes even a little bit, this market is going to take that spike as a weakness. This is going to dip further down. All right, just know these things. If you guys have more screens or not, just keep this on watch. Oil gets back above 100, we go back to 108, 112. This market is going to come down towards 4,039, 900. right? But oil coming down, the market is not really reacting to an positive side. All right, and today we do have the VIX expiration. Now, those interested, I can send you guys some information on it. Just message me, right? It's a long, so that's why I cannot post it, because in Discord you can only post so much. And so that was oil, and then obviously we have the COVID headlines on a macro level which are coming up, right? And don't forget tomorrow's FOMC. That will go tomorrow, pre-market, not today, right? But do know that FOMC tomorrow, and then on Friday we have quad bridging. So expect a lot of volatility. Expect a lot of volatility today also. All right. And personally, if I do go on the weekly on the SPX, I am expecting this range, right? MSL, I think our team has done a great job. We were all on the same page, right? Including myself, LBT, right, and our moderators. We're pretty much all on the same page, and we caught this entire downside, right? We caught this entire downside. Now the question is, it's actually been coming down pretty much straight down. What we want to see is this zone hold. We don't want this to just continue going down. We want this 30. Now, if we approach this zone right here, roughly this zone, we want this zone to hold, and then we want to bounce back towards this area. Then we want the bounce towards 4,300 again. And when the 4,300 bounce comes, we get to load on puts again in the coming months. Now you guys are thinking Ricky's talking crazy. He's already talking. Yes, I'm actually. Here's what I'm seeing. We go back to 4,300. Something like this happens coming weeks, months, or maybe we might not even get here, and then we're coming back lower again into the summer. All right. So you're getting to know this in March 15th, pretty much, right? This is the way this chart's gonna form, right? This is a technical which I've seen too many times, and I think I'm 90% right. Can I be wrong? Of course I can be wrong. We could be at all-time highs, but this is something that's likely to happen on S&P. All right, so we visit this range 4,000, 3,900, come back and then roll over. Tesla increased their prices in China and the US, but the question is, will that, now that is positive, obviously their revenues go up. The question is, in this market, does that news even matter? Right now, HK Kamani, I know you love Tesla, you're always on top of it, you probably know much more than me about Tesla, but just speaking technically, we're under the 50 MA, and don't be surprised, sometime later this year, this death cross forming. All right, Tesla has had a great run all the way from 50, 40, all the way towards 1,200. That was a crazy run for the last 2-3 years. All right, but now it's time for you to take a break, because there's a lot going on in the market, in the world, and the way China is dipping, Baba, Baidu, many people. I'm surprised myself, right? I'm glad I caught Baidu short at least, so I was part of this short. I could have nailed more profits, but unfortunately did not hold. Something like this is possible on any stock in the market. This right here is possible on any stock in the market, this huge downfall. Baba's trading at the all-time lows pretty much almost. All right, it's pretty much trading at the all-time lows after so long, right? Now, has Baba's business not grown? Of course it's grown so much from 2016, but look at what happened, right? And if you, I posted a little delisting thing in pre-market also. This is all fears with China, whatever, God knows what's happening. I think someone has to go in a lot of depth to really understand why these moves happen, right? We know the little bit, we know the COVID, we know about the delisting news, right? But I think there's a much more going behind the backgrounds, in the back, right? So anything is possible on any name. So Tesla weekly, when I look at it, right? Some of you guys don't like it when we say Tesla is going to come down further. Now, personally, given the market sentiment, I personally see Tesla reaching this support zone right here. 530, 600, now that's below the 50 MA on the weekly. But is it going to happen all at once? No, it'll happen slowly. Something will happen. It'll probably base around, test this support one more time, and then maybe reverse back up. All right. And I just want to go back to BTC also, Bitcoin. That's one chart that I want to cover. And Bitcoin, guys, if you guys know it, it's just holding on to this long-term trend line. If I just draw it here, right, I had it here. I don't know where it went. So it's just holding on to this weekly trend line around here, right? Something like this along the lines. And once this trend line breaks, you can just draw from the start of this to here. And once this trend line breaks, now they're showing weakness. It's trying to give us spikes, but note this. This is not good, right? They keep selling this. There's a lot of selling pressure here. They're not letting BTC stay, right? You guys see for the last few weeks. On the weekly, they keep selling and they spike it, they sell it. Now, if we break, if we lose 36K ground, I think, and we hold underneath, 30K will be really fast. Right? This zone will be really fast. This 28K zone will be really fast. And then, given this weakness, the way the charts are looking, even 28K, if it does not hold, this zone will be next right here. Which is roughly 16,000, right? So, this is just a small possibility that I'm showing. right? Because if Bitcoin money comes out of this, then it might also have a negative impact on the markets as well. So just keep an eye on this. If we don't hold above 37, 38 on Bitcoin, if Bitcoin flushes, markets likely also to flush. All right. And RCL, great play. I think LB and Bucky are on this as a opening play, right? But with COVID news hitting, then that's how you gotta think what might not work, right? So RCL on the weekly, it's just sold off again, right? Took many weeks to go up and then sold off, and now it's still barely holding on to the support. And I think once this support fails and these guys get their move under 67 or 66, this thing is likely going to come and fill the gap right here. I think this is what LB must have seen. There's a gap all the way towards 58 bucks right here, right? So you're looking at a move all the way downwards here. Now puts also don't go straight down. Maybe you buy puts here, right? It might go up a little bit, come down, go up, and then flush, right? So puts require a lot of patience and turbulence to hold through. Just like when you buy a call, right? Dips happen on puts, a little small rips happen. Right, so RCL is a great play, I think. As long as we don't take out the last week's highs, I think this is a great play, and I'm probably going to join you guys in on this, on RCL. Right, and I think a $5-10 move flush can happen fast. And IWM weekly is just getting started, I think. This chart is just getting started. This is one indices which options move so much, and I think this zone will be coming sometime this year. When does it come? I have no idea. But today, tomorrow we have FOMC, we have quad witching. Let's see what happens. Some rips will be a blessing to add on to some short positions. But IWM, as soon as it holds under 190 and under hold, we have all the way towards 170, which is pretty much a 20-point move in the coming weeks. All right, and that's huge on IWM. And a lot of small caps, they're probably going to get crushed more. They're already crushed, but a lot will happen to those. All right, and some of you guys are buying Chinese names. Avoid it, man. Trust me, that's the best way to give your gains. Don't think that Baba is at support level. If this is what you're looking at, right? Now, I do understand the sayings, buy when there's blood in the market, buy when there's fear in the market. Yes, those things do stand true. But when it comes to options, it's different, right? Buying equity on this name, fine. If delisting does not happen, all these things don't go through, this will be a very great name that will bounce back to 160, 180 pretty fast, right? It might take some time, but it'll happen. But buying options in this bloody market, you're buying calls. If Baba stalls you just for 1-2 months on the sideways, your options are going to get crushed by 50-60%, even if you're buying 2023. Because here you're paying the implied volatility also. Don't forget Vega, right? Don't forget these things. If you're going in 2023, now I love playing leaps, but with VIX at 30, why would I buy leaps? There's absolutely zero reason. Even if VIX comes down tomorrow 10 points towards 20 and Baba starts reversing to 70, 75, you're barely going to break even on your position, right? Even if Baba goes 10 points up here at 85, 90, the leap that you bought is likely not going to go up, right? Because the volatility will be taken out, and then now your positions, and you're going to be like, Baba's up 15 points, it's 2023, why is my position not up? Well, understand Greeks. You must know your Greeks when buying leaps, right? And when to buy them. Right, that time will come. That time is not now. I'd rather buy Baba leaps when it's above 100 and the things are settled, and then I'd rather go into them. Right, so know these things, because or else if Baba dips another 5-6 points, though, I mean, you're just holding the bag now, right? So don't be stubborn with these positions. And VIX above 27 and MSL, we don't recommend calls, right? We don't buy calls. It's simple, right? If you still haven't learned, there's not much we can say. Right, some of you guys are trying to take fast scalps for 10-15 cents, fine. I'm not stopping you from playing it, but just be careful with your positions. VIX is holding up. I think LB went over this post-market yesterday. It's been holding up pretty well above 30. Usually it's a spike up and a down, but this time they're holding it, right? And so just be careful with this. A lot of call options were bought on VIX for this month in 50s and 60s, if you guys watch the flow. All these things take into account, all right? And I think with this, we'll call it. We're live on voice chat. If you're in trial, go through the channels. Don't rush into positions when somebody calls it. Understand why is the position taken, right? A lot of great traders in the room, guys. A lot, right? Great start. Patience will